Yeah, I retired after 21 years of service. I served in the Navy and then transitioned in the Marine Corps through a commissioning program. And so I was in the CBs, I did construction, and then in the Marine Corps, I did something totally out of my comfort zone, which was communications. Did that for 10 years. And then, like I said, I retired when I was eligible to retire. So, the church I attend here in Georgia, I had a friend of mine who had a severe shoulder injury when he was in the Army. And so he told me about Trajector, and I think he was somewhere around 80%. And he was just telling me how that all went down. And so I didn't act on it right away. I just waited. So I was on a phone call with an acquaintance. He's a lawyer in Atlanta. I think I was looking for a lawyer to help me with submitting a claim to the VA. So I'm like, hey, do you do this kind of thing? Because I know you need sometimes an outside person or an outside agency or whatever. And so we had a long conversation, but the one thing he told me, he said, hey, Dana, he said, those guys that you know that have had severe injuries due to combat, he said, those guys are going to be taken care of. And he said, and they should. And so he said, you should apply or look at, he didn't know it was Trajector, but he was just saying, you should apply. You should do whatever they're asking you to do. He said, just, you don't lose anything. And I had a disability rating, but it was 0%. So it was documented. I had these, but there was no benefit. And to be honest with you, I wasn't looking for a benefit. I was not wanting more money. That's not my goal. Was, hey, if I'm hurt and these injuries are prolonged or they're evident after I get out of the military service, I just want to be able to get the care at no cost. That was really my goal. And so this friend, so he encouraged me. So I contacted Trajector and started the process. And I was probably the biggest skeptic. I had heard stories of guys faking things and not being honest. And I was like, I ain't doing that, man. Anyway, I got in touch with Trajector and I was a big skeptic, but at the end of the day, I was ethical. I never lied. I never embellished anything, submitted everything that needed to be submitted, and not only went through Trajector, but I got the account with the VA, and they needed some documentation from me too. And so, yeah, the process was lengthy and I was really surprised. I figured I'd get like 10%, 25%, and I'd have been very content with that. But they came back with a 70% rating. I was like, I had no idea I rated that. I'm glad I did that. And I think I'm glad because I was honest. I didn't have to do anything underhanded or I didn't have to make anything up. I just said, hey, here's the deal.
Right.
Here's the problems. And at the end of the day, I got 70% rating. Somehow, I don't know how it worked, but whenever the people from Trajector got involved, things started moving. The moment Trajector got involved, I guess the best way to put it is somebody on my behalf, they were just giving it attention.